People have been wondering, do I do this show with just a regular t-shirt and my pajama pants bottoms? I don't know. And neither will you. But first, coffee. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of your favorite coffee time with your favorite people. This is But First Coffee coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, and HBTV. I am president, founder of Heritage Park Productions, Robot Merchant, and I have a very special guest with me today. She is, I met this young lady in October this last year, a couple months ago. Yes, I did meet people in the middle of COVID. That's how we do things, you know. Doesn't stop the brand. Anyways, she's just inspiring, inspiring woman. She's got so many different things that she's doing right now. She coaches. She coaches health coaching. She does. I'm pretty sure she does life coaching to an extent. She coaches young ladies in pageantry, and as speaking of pageantry, she is 2018's Miss Missouri USA. I believe that's right. I don't know, but we're gonna get her on. She'll correct me if I'm wrong. But without further ado, my new friend, good friend, Miss Tori Kruse. Hi, Tori. How are you?
Hey, Ro. Thank you so much for having me this morning. This is awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sipping on some coffee.
Yes.
Mine is full of coffee. So this is for real. But first coffee.
This is for real. Tori, what does your mug say?
All right. I have to read it because it's so long. But
Okay.
It says, live a pineapple life, be sweet on the inside, stand tall, and obviously wear a crown.
That's awesome. Cheers. I love it. And that's like a 16-ounce coffee cup. I think mine's like an 8.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got to go big or go home, you know? That's my motto.
Tori Kruse, you're coming from us all the way. You're in Arizona right now, correct? You're in Scottsdale?
I am. Sunny Scottsdale. Sunny Scottsdale at about 50 degrees right now, but hey, I'll take it over snow.
Take it over snow any day. Now,
Yeah.
Are you originally from Missouri?
So I'm originally from Iowa, and then
wow.
I grew up in Iowa, went to college at University of Iowa, and then after college, I moved to Missouri, and then that is where I continued my pageant journey and competed at Miss Missouri USA 4 times, and then finally won that last time competing and competed twice in Iowa too. So yeah, I'm a Midwest girl, but now living in Scottsdale.
So you did it. So you competed for Miss Missouri USA 4 times?
I competed for Miss Missouri 4 times, but prior to that, I competed in the Miss Iowa Teen Division, Miss Iowa USA, and then I was going through college, and so I wasn't really too focused on it. And then I graduated college, moved down to St. Louis, Missouri, and was like, you know what, let's give this pageant thing another try. So I competed, 2015 was my first year of competing in Miss Missouri. I placed semifinalist for the 3rd time, and that's not very good for a competitive person. You know what I mean, Ro?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I love hearing that because it's like, I like hearing you process that because to me, it's like, okay, she just didn't do it one time and won. She was like, nope, we're going to do this again until we get this thing together. That's Oh yeah. I played
sports growing up. So it was like, you know what? I already had that competitive blood in me, but I didn't grow up, in pageantry. So growing up in sports and having a brother that I always, he's beat me. He wouldn't let me win in anything. So when I got to pageantry, I was like, all right, like I have got to win this thing. So once I competed in Missouri, I was hook, line, and sinker. And I just I made the decision right there when I placed semifinalist that year. I was like, you know what? Why am I doing this? When you have that moment, Ro, where you're just like, are you doing something?
Yes. I think I have that moment at least twice a day. I have that moment at least twice a day.
Seriously.
That's awesome. So let's go look at your crowning achievement, winning Miss Missouri 2018. This is the moment where they announced your name and you ended up winning. So we're going to go look at that real quick.
Perfect.
Miss Missouri USA 2018 is Osage Beach Tori Kruse. That means our first runner-up is City of St. Louis, Mariah Lutke. Congratulations, ladies, and great job tonight. Congratulations, ladies. Tori Kruse, Chloe Bartlett, take the stage. Let everybody see how excited you are to be our new title holders. On behalf of Ambrose and Associates, Sophia Dominguez Hightop, and Bailey Dayton, and our entire staff, I'm Jennifer Banana Fisher saying good night. We hope to see you back next year. Be sure to watch our new Missouri title holders compete for the titles of Miss Teen USA and Miss USA next year. Good night and God bless everyone.
Explain that experience to me. What was that like when you won?
Oh, they gave me all the feels. So many things. So I have to point out, every time I watch that video, it cracks me up because I walk away without the flowers. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. That's hilarious. You just start walking like, yeah, I did it. I did it.
I was so excited to finally win, and I like go blow kisses to my family, wave to my family, like I finally did it. But I just walked away without the flowers.
I love it. I thought when I saw you walk away, and I saw the lady walking with you with the flowers, I was like, oh, she walked out without the flowers. You're just so amazing. That just shows a lot of your personality. Like, hey, I did it. I got it. Finally.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need the dang flowers
I don't need
anymore.
flowers. I don't need anything else. Let me
I have
just
the crown off the sash, like, screw the flowers.
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
I was cracking up also because in the video I noticed, you're supposed to lose graciously. Some of the ladies behind you were not very gracious at all.
No, they weren't. They weren't at all. And I don't know why. I mean, heck, I competed 6 years in a row. It's not like I just won my first year. I mean, I was about to age out.
Man, some of them are so salty. Can we get back? I want to see if we can get back to some of the faces. I want to see if we can finally get some of the faces because some of them are so salty looking. Okay, here we go. Check out some. Wait, let me pull it up. I'm sorry. I have to. These faces are so salty. Like this one right behind you, she is salty. Like
yeah, she doesn't know what's going on.
Oh, and it gets so funnier. Like, oh man, this one behind the black, she's like, oh gosh.
It's like this girl.
I can't believe it.
The girls on the right, at least I think they were pretty happy. They looked thrilled. But there's something about the girls on the left. I don't know.
Yeah, they were not vibing. It's almost like, I don't know. I've been that. I'm not gonna lie. The reason I pulled it up because I've been that salty person so many times. I've been like, oh, I should have won that and didn't get it. But you know what? There's always tomorrow. Like you could have told them that. Like, hey, 6 years. Tried this for 6 years. Finally knocked this thing out.
Yeah. What's funny about that?
Go ahead.
What's funny about that is when I was in the very first pageant that I competed in at Miss Iowa USA or Miss Iowa Teen USA, that one, I remember sitting on the bus going to rehearsals for the very first time. Like pageantry was a whole new world to me. And I was sitting on the bus with these girls in the Miss division too. And at that time I was, a teen. And they were saying that it was their 5th or 6th year competing. I was like, that's hilarious. Like, get a life. That was me. So be careful what you say because that could be you someday if you're sitting back there like, wow, like this person is like so persistent, like they won't give up. And, that was my mentality going into it back in, I was competing in 2010. It was 2009, but it was the 2010 pageant. Always goes a year ahead. It's kind of confusing, but
okay.
But yeah, I remember that, and I was like, wow, the year that I won, it was my 6th time competing. So just amazing, watching that journey.
That's
and
awesome.
laughing and being that person. So
yeah, now you're that person. Yeah, wow. So with mainstream media getting involved in pageantries, like for a time, I remember one show that was always everybody watched. I even watched was like Toddlers and Tiaras and shows like that. How much of that is like accurate? How much of it is like a little bit of Hollywood? Like Hollywood has a little bit of fascination with pageantry, and it's always comes at a different angle. It looks like, in your opinion, how much of it is actually accurate? Like Miss Congeniality and all the stuff that you see in movies and TV. Can you speak to that a little bit? How much of that is actually what really happens?
maybe about 2%.
Wow, 2%.
So I won Miss Congeniality one of the years that I didn't win. I don't think Miss Congeniality ever wins the pageant.
Right.
But yeah, one of the years I didn't win, I won Miss Congeniality, which is just funny. I mean, yeah. But to make a good reality show, you have to have some drama in it, right?
Yeah.
And not to say that there isn't in a real life pageant, competing at Miss USA, that there wasn't drama. But as a whole, it was, especially at Miss USA, that was a point where, state was great. I didn't feel like there was much drama, but at the same time, I removed myself from that. So if it's going on, if I see it, I put my headphones in, I remove myself from the situation. I just don't let it in my world. So I could be a little bit oblivious to it in a sense, but overall, I really didn't experience much drama in the real life pageant world. And then going to Miss USA, that was an awesome experience because there were 51 of us girls there. DC competes as well. So wow. I do not hate so much. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
But Washington, DC competes. And so there's, the top 51 of the states, and we're all there. And I just focused on making it the best experience that I could possibly have, because we're finally in one room with all of these like-minded women. And I thought that was so powerful that there was no time for drama. But I will say, after we were there for 10 days, after the preliminary competition, there were a couple girls, their attitude switched a little bit. We weren't really friends anymore. It was a little bit funny, but then now after Miss USA, we're all friends. So it was just, everybody acts differently in competition. But I think there's a lot of Hollywood, a lot of drama that they add to their reality shows just to, make it interesting.
That was going to be my follow-up question. Did you think that issue was more so just the competition spirit of it, or?
For sure. We're also competitive. You can't get to the Miss USA stage without being competitive. You can't.
Oh, that's where it goes down. Yeah.
Say, hey, I want my bridesmaids. It's a joke, and it does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
But as a whole, you can't get to Miss USA without having that competitive spirit in you.
Mm-hmm. What kind of expectations came with winning Miss Missouri USA? Like, what were there like special events you had to do? Like, what did you have to do after winning? What were some of the things that kind of like were expected of you?
So we have a set of directors, and they scheduled we had to do 12 appearances.
Sorry.
Are we just starting to jam out? I mean, we can have a dance party too.
Yeah, another video started playing on me, and I was, oh, not yet. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, so we had appearances that we did. I ended up traveling. That's when I started my public speaking career. And so I ended up traveling around the state of Missouri and speaking to high schools, just to young men, on the prevention of sexual assault and harassment by means of respecting women. Wow. So that's what I did. It's First Man Up is what it's called. And it was just a movement that I started as Miss Missouri. And so that's what I did with my reign. And that was really during that heavy time too, when all of that was coming out in the news. But as a whole, we just do appearances, a lot of parades. Kind of glad the parades are over in my life.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just going around the community, speaking to the young adults, speaking to children, just being a positive force for good in the world.
Explain to me again the mail thing. That was pretty cool. You kind of glanced over it. Talk to me a little bit more about that, because that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I grew up with a brother, and so I've always had a tomboy in playing sports. I've always had this tomboy nature, and always had a lot of guy friends because I was best friends with my brother growing up, and I always hung out with him and his buddies. And so I've always had, I felt like, a good relationship with guys, and that I could actually speak to them on kind of a bro basis instead of a chick to guy basis.
Yeah.
And so when I became Miss Missouri, I was really, passionate just about all of these men that were older were coming out in the news, these big name reporters and everything coming out that, back in high school or back in college, they said something, or there was, sexual assault or harassment, which is terrible. So what I wanted to bring to the forefront to these young adults in middle schools and high schools across the state of Missouri was just show these young boys how to respect women, so this doesn't happen later in their life. Because for them, it was just like they're jumping on TV and they're seeing all these sexual assault and harassment cases come up with these older men but who knows if their parents are explaining to them why this is happening or what actions they can be taking right now to prevent that in the future. So that's what I did.
Incredible. That's incredible. That's incredible that you had that up. I think that's something that we need more of, like a lot of education, a lot of training. And like you said, we don't know what these men are getting from home that get caught up in these scandals. And it was almost, there was a time where it was almost every day somebody new that had power or authority of some level was getting caught in some kind of mess like that. So that's incredible. I love it. I want more of that. I would love to have more of that. I want to teach young men too, not only how to respect a woman, but how to just, I don't want to get on a tangent or anything like that, but I feel like my heart started hurting for men when I started noticing that there were 45-year-old men, 50-year-old men not paying their bills, not taking care of their kids, but they got a brand new PS5 in their house. And I'm just like, dude, we should stop playing video games a long time ago. Nothing's wrong with video games. I got video games too. I'm not going to lie. I got them too, but there's priorities, there's perspectives, and there's, we grow up out of things, and so I think that's awesome.
Thanks. It was a great time, and I haven't done much with it after Miss Missouri right now because I switched into women's empowerment. And so it was kind of switching gears, but I still, own the rights to First Man Up, and someday down the road, I might still do something with it, or if somebody comes to me and wants to continue that movement, I'd be open to that as well. But yeah, it was something that was really powerful, but I just didn't know if I wanted that to be my purpose and my life mission. So that's why I switched to women's empowerment, because I learned a lot through the years of pageantry.
That's awesome. What's one thing that was kind of like not your favorite? What wasn't your favorite when it came to pageantry? What was one of those things that was like, for me, football, I loved playing football. I loved all years I played football. I hated when they put me out there to block a punt. That was just like that one thing, like, oh, get somebody else to do this. Like, I don't know why I didn't like it, because I guess I just got confused because I couldn't see, so I didn't know where the ball was at half the time. What was one thing for you that was like, all right, I'll do it. This is not my favorite thing.
So, well, number one thing I hated was losing. The first and foremost. I mean, that obviously was the worst, because you put yourself out there, you put all the time and effort and practice, and invest in yourself and all of these coaches throughout the years, and then you go up there and you're so close. And I tell you, placing first runner up it sucked. It was so hard because you're so close, and that you can get there, and you can have the ability to compete at Miss USA, but you didn't get chosen that year, and it just wasn't in God's timing. So I think just mentally getting back up after losing and trying to figure out every year, like, all right, am I going to do this again? What do I have to do better the next year in order to place better? Like, what do I have to change in my practice technique? And, that was a big thing. But if we're really in technical practicing wise, what I actually hated was studying current events. So current events, I've never, again, it goes back, I think, to the drama part of it all. I can't stand the drama of the media. And so when I was, you don't know what question you're going to get asked when you make it to top 5, and they just drill you with some random question, that's in the news. And I feel for these girls this year because, man, they got their work cut out for them. So yeah, now as a pageant coach and helping girls discover their purpose and their confidence through pageantry, I tell them if they want current event coaching, I will send them to another person, because that is not my expertise. I don't enjoy it, so I'll never say that I do. So that was probably the one thing that I definitely dreaded in the pageant training.
Do you have an embarrassing moment that has happened to you at a pageant?
I said a stupid onstage answer one time. It wasn't like that dumb, but I was trying to be funny, and it wasn't funny. And so they said something about what is your biggest fear? And most people are like, oh, snakes, spiders, all this stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, I don't like snakes, I don't like spiders, but I wanted to think of something that was funny or creative. And so what I said was walking past a shoe rack at Nordstrom, and then I'm going to buy all the shoes because I love shoes. And it was like not funny, but I thought it was going to be funny. And after that, I was like, that was really stupid. I played second.
Landed flat, yeah. Oh man, yeah. I hate when I say something I think it's funny and it just lands flat, and you're just like, oh, right. No one got it. No, didn't
Yeah.
land right.
So
Oh man.
I'll just embarrass myself again and tell all you guys, you know? Really
Awesome.
those moments.
Man, I can hear you talk about pageantry forever. I don't know why. I watch, like I told you when we first met, like I watch pageants like every time I'm going through the channel. Ooh, pageants. And yeah, so I don't know why. And I always try to guess who I would pick. Like, Miss California definitely should be in there, but I'm biased. I mean, Miss California can be the worst personality in the world. I'm gonna root for her. But you know, it's always fun to get in that. But I also want to talk to you about your transitioning over to Highlights and Heels, because that's been where you've launched out and you branched out into this amazing CEO. You're coaching on different levels. Talk to me about the transition into Highlights and Heels. Where did that come from, and where was some of the things that inspired you in making that transition into Highlights and Heels?
Well, thank you for saying that I'm an amazing CEO. As an entrepreneur, you probably know there's a lot of ups and downs. So that feels good to have somebody say that. But the transition happened after Miss USA. When I discovered, so I guess back up a little bit. I actually, before I won Miss Missouri, I went out to Los Angeles. So California, hey.
Yeah.
Wish I would have known you then. But
I know.
I went out to LA and I thought I wanted to be the next Erin Andrews, be on the sidelines, you know, at the football games, doing sport reporting. But I went out to LA and just networked my tail off. After the year that I placed first runner up at Miss Missouri, I was like, all right, I'm going to go Airbnb hop. I'm done sitting here in Missouri. I'm done losing and putting my dreams on hold past pageantry. So I packed my bags. I Airbnb hopped in LA. Still don't know how I did that for 7-8 months.
Wow.
The amount of clothes and shoes that I have, back to my Nordstrom fear. But yeah, Airbnb hopped, and then I networked and I went to Fox Sports, I went to Big Ten Network, and it was just an awesome experience. But then once I went back to Missouri to compete one last time, and then I won, I realized that I definitely wanted to do something bigger where I wasn't under a network and I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so after Miss USA, I was really thinking, like, what kind of business could I start to empower women? Because I have all this experience now from pageantry that I learned in personal development and everything. How can I put this into a business and now help younger women? So that's exactly what I did. My brother actually flew in. At this time, I was living in Iowa after Miss USA. And my brother flew in from Arizona, and we were sitting there at my kitchen counter, and we just started talking. And we came up with Highlights and Heels. But a funny story, I skipped over this part. When I was in LA, I decided I need to start this sports reporting brand because I didn't have any experience. And the only way that I could ever be a sports reporter was if I had experience doing sports reporting. So I ended up creating a brand when I was living in LA, and I called it Highlights and Heels because I was highlighting sports highlights and I was in heels because I'm a girl. And so that was my social media brand. And for every sporting event that would come up, I have a home studio that I just rigged up in LA. I bought a microphone, and after every basketball game, football game, golf event, I would take the mic, I would turn on my camera, and I would just report whatever just happened in that game. And I would post it on my platform, Highlights and Heels. And
awesome.
So that's where Highlights and Heels was actually discovered and birthed, but then I switched it to women's empowerment.
Awesome. That's incredible. That's incredible. And now when you mentioned Miss Andrews, I always call her Miss Andrews because I think she's just incredible. Erin Andrews. When you mentioned her, I was like, yeah, I do see it now. I can see you totally being on the football field.
I love sports. I love football. It's like I still have a little bit of that in me, but the lifestyle that I desire to have isn't really fitting for a network. And I'm at the age where hopefully I'll be getting married sooner than later and having a family. And that lifestyle is just not as fitting as owning your own company and being an entrepreneur. So
yeah. But I will say one of my favorite sports people, not woman. My favorite. I have two. But Rachel Nichols, that woman's bad. Like ESPN, she does the jump and she does mostly basketball. She is amazing. I think she's dope. She's dynamite. But I love it. I remember one time I was watching ESPN right before I was in my late teens, early 20s. And my mom I watched ESPN all the time. And there was an inflood of these women broadcasters and journalists.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom was just so fascinated. She was like, women doing sports? Women are in the sports like that? And I was like, Mom, and I knew every one of them. So that's Jameel Hill. That's Rachel Nichols. That's, I knew them all. Molly Kieran. Like, these people are awesome. And just imagine, I don't know because I don't work in that field, but I can imagine the kind of the uphill battle it must have been for a lot of them. So some of my favorite broadcasters are women. Like, I could see you doing it and that'd be something crazy though.
It's a different dynamic too. I mean, you're watching mostly men's sports. And so to have a female reporter, and now it's so fun because I studied it for so long. And then I was almost to that point, I felt like, where I could start to land a job. And then I won Miss Missouri. And it was just like, you never know where God's going to take you in life. And what that prepped me for was being a motivational speaker now and being a coach now. And it's just, I was born to have a mic in my hand, but I just didn't know what kind of microphone. And so it was cool. Like I don't know if you've ever heard of Marky Costello, but she's a big coach there in LA for hosting and that sort of thing and being on camera. So I went through her program, and I didn't know at that time. I thought I was doing it for sports, but at that time, now I realized that I was doing it all along for things like this and for speaking on stages when we can go back to events.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now you're coaching. So what is your influence in the coaching world right now? Because we could talk about health coaching because we know that's where we met each other. But also you coach other young women and other pageantry. And what's the empowerment? Like, what do you focus on mostly when you talk about women's empowerment?
So I created a coaching program called the Winner's Circle. And what I'm really passionate about is really helping these girls use pageantry as a platform to their bigger purpose. Because what I discovered was the only way that we're going to become extremely confident in anything in life, but specifically if we're talking about pageantry, a lot of people want these like crazy mindset techniques and all of these, like, how do I have confidence to win? And it's not that difficult. You just have to practice and you have to be prepared and you have to know why you're going to be a great title holder. And so now I'm really passionate about helping these girls discover their bigger why and why they're competing. Because if pageantry is just the end all be all, you're going to be crushed when your pageant days are over. Mm-hmm. So why not use this amazing platform to have a bigger voice to then go further in your career? So through the Winner's Circle, it's an 8-week program. Actually, I have another one coming up here January 6th that I'm super excited about. It's an 8-week program that I created a digital course with 40 different lessons in it for girls to go through to really get that clarity with their goals, to dream bigger than they already are, and then to start to develop that confidence and brand yourself. And I give them exact networking scripts that I use when I was out in Los Angeles in the sports reporting industry and that I still use. And then really to develop those consistent habits as well that are going to lead them to success and developing that bigger purpose, and use pageantry as a stepping stone because this is only the beginning.
Do you have is there a max out number that you allow for your Winner's Circle?
So there's only 25 that are in the Winner's Circle. I like to keep it, and that's very max too. So if I start to feel that it's getting a little bit too many, then I do cut it off a little bit sooner than that. But 25 right now. And most of the girls are Miss USA contestants, but I work with girls who are competing in all different pageant systems. And it's just girls, it's specifically designed for girls who are serious about winning. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with competing in a pageant just to, gain more confidence or to say that you did it. But with my mentality and for this level of the program, little side note, it's kind of a secret. I haven't announced it yet. I'll say it on here. I created 2 other programs that are not the Winner's Circle. They're different options for people who are just competing in a pageant to develop the confidence to step outside their comfort zone, which I think is awesome. But the Winner's Circle is definitely more of the level of, yes, I'm ready to win this dang thing. Kind of like I was like, I will do anything it takes to win. So it's in different group lessons in there, but then there's also one-on-one coaching. So little mix of both, but had a great group last year. Last session here in the fall. Had one girl even from Singapore, so that was pretty cool to go worldwide.
Awesome. First, you heard it here first. She's got other programs. If you just try, I think I'm just gonna try it. And yeah, is there a lot of competition for men? Like, is there male pageantries? Is there any of those available?
I think there is, but I don't have a clue. I haven't ever researched them. I know there's some Mr. pageants, but nothing. I don't foresee myself training any pageant men.
Yeah,
not in my future right now, but you never know.
My niece has been in a pageant, and now I remember there was a Mr. something, but it was one guy, so it was like, well, he clearly won. You know, he's gonna rank it up because he's the only one out there. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, he was sharp too. The dude was dressing really fly. I was like, yeah, he won, but I mean, he's the only one out here.
He had no competition.
He had no competition, and it had me thinking sideways, like I should probably get out there. And I said, nah, I'm good.
There you go. There's your goal.
That's a goal right there. There's a new goal. But you know what? It's weird because for me, I remember looking at him and I was like, nah. And the only thing I can compare it to for men is we have the Mr. Universe, right? But those guys have been like bodybuilding and they've been stocked up and they're just ripped. And of course, men, we don't really talk about this at all, but we have body image issues too. You know, I notice it now because now doing health coaching, I notice that there are men who have serious body image issues. Like I could point out a man's dad bod himself, you got a dad bod, and they just get offended, like, no, I don't. And they start pulling their shirt, which is funny because you never associate body image with males. You normally imagine it with women having body image. Is that something you see a lot nowadays? Because we now have a lot of celebrities and social media, like celebrities that trying to teach people to embrace their body image and how they are. But is that something that's still big? And do you see that a lot today?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's awesome that these celebrities are now speaking up and talking about body image because it happens more times than not. And I think that's really interesting too, what you said about men having the same thing. I think it's been focused so much on women with body image issues and not the men. And so it does go hand in hand. But I do think as a whole, maybe women are a little bit more tough on themselves. And it affects so many more areas of their confidence on a daily basis. But I could be wrong too. I don't know. It could be the exact same for men. I can only speak for us women. But I do see it in pageantry a lot. And just as young girls in general, because there's so many different pressures. There's Instagram world. There's influencers that people are comparing themselves to. And it just can be a downward spiral if you're following people on social media who may not have done anything to you. But you're looking at them and automatically comparing your body to theirs. And I just truly believe we're all blessed with the body that we're given. And so let's treat it right. Let's treat it in a healthy way. But everybody's body is different. And so honestly, Ro, that's why I started the health coaching too, was because when I was in pageantry, I had a binge eating problem. I luckily have never had an eating disorder like anorexia or bulimia or any of that, but I did binge eat sometimes. I got really, really serious with my diet. And when I got so serious with it, I just became really obsessed with it. And when you become so obsessed with something, it doesn't be obsessed or be average is a great quote from Grant Cardone. But when it came to the eating, that's when I remember one time going and getting a cheeseburger like a couple weeks out from the pageant because I was just so like deprived of everything. And I went and got a cheeseburger and french fries, and then I went over and got another cheeseburger and french fries and an ice cream cone at McDonald's. Like, no joke, backpack. I mean, I was like up to here. But that's like, I laugh about it now, and I kind of laughed about it then, but then it was like, whoa, I kind of had a problem. Like, I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes so obsessed to like take my supplements to make sure my body was going to be functioning right for my workout at 5:30. I mean, it was crazy stuff. And so that's where now with health coaching, it was like, even though these girls really don't have that much to lose before their pageant, they still want to learn these healthy lifestyle techniques. And that's where I just really want to help them. Like, hey, you don't have to go to the gym twice a day. like this is the nutrition you need to fuel your body with, and then it will function properly, and you don't need to do these high intensity workouts and just bust your butt and it ruins your mental state, when you do that stuff. So that's my long spiel about body image. I could talk about that for another half hour.
Yeah, I can listen to it for a while because it's like I never even process it the way you're saying it. Like, and even with pageantry being what it is, and me watching it, I never think about how intense it is. Like, it's intense. Like it's especially when you're especially if there's somebody like you who's an ultra competitor who doesn't like to be told. And I never thought of it until now. Like, if I'm playing a sport, if I'm playing football and I lose, I can normally pinpoint why I lost. Within pageantry, you lost because somebody didn't pick you. Like, that's got to do something for your psyche, and that's got to really mess you up mentally, because I can't imagine playing the best game of my life and then that's why I don't like boxing so much, because if you don't knock out the dude in front of you, you're letting the people decide who fought better. And of course, we're going to be like, I fought better. And so that's got to be such an intense kind of mindset to be at, because how do you handle things like that? How do you handle rejection? And how do you help people process that in pageantry? Because to me, I would take that as, if I didn't even get placed, if I didn't even place in like the top 10, I got rejected. Or like you said, if I get runner up, I'm like, oh, so I'm not good enough. And so how do you process that? And how do you help people process rejection at that level?
It's hard. There's really no way around. I mean, it is hard. And I think one of the biggest things was, for me, is just living by the saying, every no is one step closer to my yes. And when I just leaned into that, and of course, I'm a very spiritual woman, so I leaned into devotions and scriptures as well. But I always told myself, all right, that no happened for a reason. So why did it happen? So every single year, I would reanalyze my team. I've had 22 coaches in the past 10 years.
Wow.
And so that's between pageantry and then now as an entrepreneur. But majority of that was pageantry, because I was in pageantry longer than I've been an entrepreneur. So I've had these 22 coaches, and I'm just a firm believer in investing in yourself, because it's investing in your future. And that's when every single year where I didn't win, I would look back and say, okay, does this coach have the same vision as I do? And when I had that vision of winning, like, all right, I'm one to win, but how can I get there? I had to restructure my team every single year. And I don't think I consistently had the same group of coaches 2 years in a row, because I would keep leveling up my coaches and mentors until they believed that I could win Miss Universe. Because if I didn't have that mindset of I can win at the highest level, then I wasn't motivated enough. Now, that's obviously coming from, like you said, ultra competitor. Not everybody needs to have that mindset to win the state pageant or win Miss USA, but personally, that's what helped me. So I always suggest to my clients, like, you know what, let's reanalyze. Even though I am a coach and mentor to them, I still want them to reanalyze. Like, if I'm not helping them level up and help them believe in themselves to dream bigger, which I know I am because I'm such an audacious dreamer, but if they don't feel that, then we need to reanalyze your group of coaches. And then also, what's another important thing, so number one, reanalyze your mentors and coaches. But number two is, when you lose at something and you are sad or depressed or wondering why, I think it's okay to take that moment and just be sad. Be down for a couple days if you want. But let's, in those couple days, really think of why you're sad, because why do you want this so bad? And then use that as fuel to get back in there and do the work and do better next year. So taking that time to yourself is really, really important. And then just putting in the time and practice. Sometimes it's just not enough practice. And then other times it wasn't your timing. Just like when I placed first runner up, it just wasn't my time. I know I could have went and competed at Miss USA that year, but it wasn't in God's timing for whatever reason that was. And now I see why I didn't win in that timing. So just understand that God has a plan. It's in his timing. And as hard as that is to understand sometimes, we just have to sit back and believe. We can be sad, but then reanalyze who are the people you're surrounding yourself with, who are your mentors, who are your coaches, and then use that, that experience as fuel to get that one no out of the way onto your next yes.
How do you feel that the journey through what you've gone through and everything, how do you feel that's affected you as a coach? How's that developed you as a coach?
That's a really good question. I guess whenever I had coaches, I always wanted coaches who believed in me and who were more of my friend than a coach. And that's what I love about health coaching too, is like this whole group we're all friends. And it's not just like, oh, this person's my coach or this person's my mentor. But no, like we walk alongside each other every step of the way. And I really felt that with my coaches, that they were walking this journey with me. They were here. If I needed to call them real quick or text them, they were there for me. And so now as a coach, I really desire to have more of that like friendship base, because we're doing life together, and it's better when we're doing it linking arms and walking alongside of each other instead of, hey, I'm ahead of you because I'm your coach or mentor. No, I want to be right alongside you. So that's what I desire as a coach. And then just, allow them to dream big and have the belief in them. Like one girl, I just got done with my winner's circle, and one girl messaged me afterwards and she goes, "Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this winner's circle. I seriously feel like I could win Miss Universe now." And reading those words almost made me tear up, because it was like, that was like amazing. Like that's what I wanted. Like that's exactly what I wanted these women to feel like when they walk away from the winner's circle is, yes, I believe in you. And I authentically believe she can be Miss Universe if she puts in the work. And so just hearing those things is what just lights me up, because, we need to dream big and pursue our biggest, most audacious goals, because when you have a goal, I always say it's in your heart for a reason.
Wow. I think I want you to be my coach, just in general, just my life coach.
Let's go.
If I get a text message like that from you, I'd be like, yes. Because I tell you what,
come on, join the winner's circle. Add a new dynamic in there.
I need to get some wins, man. I need to get some wins. Yes, man. Cause I tell you what, like even this morning, I had to wake up and I knew this was coming, so I had to move my workout earlier. And then I'm working out early in the morning. Like, why am I working out so early? And I'm not gonna lie. I skipped yesterday's workout, so that means I had to double up today's. And I forgot that I'm adding a new element that I was supposed to work out buns today. I didn't put up the schedule. Somebody else put the schedule for me to work out. So I was supposed to work out buns. And I was like, buns, I can do buns. No, I can't do buns. I just realized this morning, like sitting down right now is painful. So, yeah. I need some of that energy, man. That's awesome. Awesome, man.
Oh man. Yeah. You're doing awesome work, bro. I see those the before and after pictures, and see you crushing your goals on other levels too, like this TV show. I was just listening to Brendan Bouchard podcast when I was getting ready before this, and he was talking about confidence, and it really made me think. It was like, even though, we're like, you're a coach, Ro, for people, and you're a mentor and leader and all this, like some people probably look at you too and are like, how does he have all the confidence? But it doesn't matter who you are. Like, you still have doubts. You still have fears. You still have the days where you're like, what the hell am I doing? I don't know if I'm supposed to cuss on here. But it's just like, what am I doing? And so just because you do exude confidence doesn't mean that you don't have these other fears. And I think that's something, really important to note, that with your mentors and coaches, nobody's perfect and everybody has their down days. Yesterday, for instance, man, I was like having a crappy morning, and I was just like, what can I do to choose joy today? What makes me feel good? And again, I missed my morning workout, so I was like, I need to move my body, because when you move your body, you change your mind. And I had to go out and move my body, and luckily the sun was shining here, and so I was like, all right, choosing joy today, because I need to move my body. It's a gift from God. I went out and just did a walk around the block a couple times in the sunshine and just made that decision to choose joy. And I always just, I was going to say this to the end, but I'll just share with you now. I have a group called It's Breakthrough Time, where it's a group for women. And every Monday I go on there and I have a little coffee chat. So I was doing that yesterday, and I was just down in the dumps. It was a crappy morning. And so I knew I had to show up for these women, because I made the commitment that I was going to jump on there live every Monday morning and do a Monday motivation coffee chat. But I was not motivated. I had to do something to get motivated. And so that's when I went out and I did the walk. I was in the sunshine and I thought to myself, I don't need this. I wasn't given this day because I needed it. I was given this day because somebody needs me. And I was like, Tori, somebody in that group needs you right now. There's only 100 people in that group, but I guarantee somebody needs to hear this right now. And so when I came back from my walk, I just like workout clothes and all, I got on there and it was just like, I gave this message about choosing joy. And sure enough, somebody under there said, thank you so much. I needed that today. Wow. And so that's what I really want to share with everybody listening is just, you never know when you're down in the dumps, you know, when you're having a crappy day, who needs you? Because none of us were given another day because we needed it. Somebody needs us. So just get up off your couch or get up from wherever you are and make a move and take action, move your body, get in some sunshine, do what you have to do, write down your gratitudes just because somebody needs you out there.
Awesome. That's actually incredible. Thank you for that. That was awesome. Man, I don't even know how to transition. That was really good.
Well, I was saving that to the end to tell that story, but it was like the right timing. You know,
the perfect time. Yeah, we'll flow with it. We'll go with it because that was perfect. Yeah. Perfect. We're gonna move on to our podcast questions because we gotta pay bills. So our episode is brought to you by Pod Decks. If you are a Pod Deck, I'm sorry. They hate that. They're going to hate me. If you are a podcaster of any kind, you need Pod Decks. These things will give you the right information that you need. If you're ever stuck with an idea of what to do with your podcast, you go to poddecks.com and you can purchase either the interview deck, which I'm about to ask Tori some lightning questions real quick, or there's a topic one where if you don't even have a topic, there's a Pod Decks topic. And there's a couple other ones coming out too. Poddecks.com. Tell them Rose sent you. Put my name in the discount. You'll get no discount. That's just how they work. There's no discount. So anyways, we're going to go into the questions for Tori. Some quick questions. We're just going to pick them at random. Are you ready, Tori?
Bro, I don't know if I'm ready, man. I mean, I just did a little humor to this show because I just took a sip of coffee as you were talking, and that baby just spilled down my mouth and my shirt, so you know what? Let's go. Is this a Monday or Tuesday morning? I don't even know.
We don't even know. We just know it's morning time. I think the rest of America is still asleep at this point. All right. Here we go. First question. I'm pretty sure they're safe. If they're not safe, we'll get rid of them real quick.
Wait, how am I supposed to answer these?
Oh, they're directly to you. They're questions directly to you.
Cool. I thought it was like something fancy.
Oh, no, it's not that. They're just they're like interview questions. All right, here we go. First question.
Some of these cards.
Oh, this is a good one. This should be good to you too, also with your pageantry background. So we can answer it like this question seems like a pageantry question. If you could send a message to the entire world, what would you say in 30 seconds?
World peace.
It's perfect. Done.
I mean, come on, you said pageant.
Yeah, that's exactly a pageant answer too.
Hashtag 2020 world peace.
Yep, that's awesome. Look, we don't need to go no further with that one. We go to the next one.
You want to answer it for real?
Sure.
All right. So if I would send a message to the world, it would actually be exactly what I just said. That we weren't given another day in this world because we need it. We were given another day because someone needs us. So when you're struggling, keep others at the forefront. And that right there is what is going to bring you the ultimate peace and joy in this world is keeping others, serving others, keeping them at the forefront. And then you'll be surprised how much joy and gratitude you get back.
I really like that. I think that's going to be my mantra for today. We weren't given this world because we need it. We were given this world because somebody needs us. I like that. That's going to be my mantra for today. And maybe tomorrow too. Hell, it might be the rest of December. All right, here, next question. When you die, what do you want to be remembered for?
The positivity and uplifting spirit that no matter what room I'm in, I can change the mood of the room from it can be down here in a negative spirit. And when I walk in, that I can make any mood in a positive, happy, uplifting space, no matter what's going on.
That's awesome. Awesome.
I think, as humans, we're naturally wired to be negative or think of the problems. And that happens to me sometimes. I'm human, but to be able to control those emotions and those thoughts, and just to be known as that person that when you walk into the room, like, be the light. And I just want to be known as that light and somebody who gives to others. And again, puts others at the forefront and meets them where they're at in this world.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Final question. Ready? So here's a fun one. If there was a sandwich named after you, what would be on it? If I went to a deli and said, I want the Tori Kruse, what's going to be on that sandwich?
Well, it's pretty easy. I just went to Jimmy John's yesterday. So we're doing a turkey sandwich with hard salami, provolone cheese, spicy mustard, mayo. Give me the pickle. I'm so extra. Give me the extra pickle slices, the oil and vinegar, and a little oregano on it. And boom. Oh, on a whole wheat roll.
On the whole wheat roll. So it's Jimmy John's. You heard it here first. The Tori Kruse is now officially there. I'm going to go there today and be like, can I get the Tori Kruse with the extra pickles? Make sure you give me extra pickles. I'll probably get kicked out, but still. That sounds like a sandwich that should be at Jimmy John's for sure. The Tori Kruse.
It's a good one. It's a signature, man.
It does sound. When you were saying it, I was like, wow, that sounded pretty good. It sounds better than my idea of my sandwich. I was like, just 2 pieces of bread, but I want toast in the middle. Like, can you imagine putting toast in the middle of the sandwich?
I really think that says things about people's personality. It's like, I didn't realize it until you actually asked me that. So good job. What is it? Pod deck?
Pod deck.
I need to give you some of those.
Yes.
I like that.
But all right, before we go, we got to do, I always have people on But First Coffee. We do this overrated, underrated, or properly rated. Okay. So how this works is I'll just name some random, it's not random, but I already have them put together. But I name something like, I'll say Instagram. And you get to tell me whether you believe Instagram is overrated, underrated, or properly rated. Like, properly rated means, okay, the hype is real. I believe the hype is real with that. Overrated or underrated. All right, here we go. So here we go. Overrated, underrated, properly rated with Tori Kruse. First things first, The Bachelor, the television series The Bachelor. Is it overrated, underrated, or properly rated? No wrong answers. They're all
overrated now. Now it's overrated.
Now it's overrated.
I liked it before, but it's overrated now.
It's funny. I thought it was underrated. No, I thought it was overrated before. Now I'm like, it's kind of properly rated, but still, it is kind of weird.
I loved it back in the day, but now it's just a big, I don't know, I think it's a mess now. I like Chris Harrison too, but he's not. Is he doing it anymore?
I just saw him last week. Oh, yes, he is doing it still.
Wow, nice.
Actually, he wasn't doing it.
I think he just changed.
Yeah, just recently, because he was 2 weeks ago he was on it, and then last week he wasn't.
Okay, yeah, I thought he made an announcement on his social media. So
yeah,
and
it was weird. Like the season that they're in now, they're doing it in COVID, so it's kind of it's really weird. It's a weird season. Very weird season. New Year's Eve. Overrated. I knew entrepreneurs is like, every day is New Year's for us.
Yeah, every day's a party.
Yeah, every day is a party.
Life's too short.
Yes. All right. Recording concerts on your iPhone camera.
I don't know if that's a properly, but I love doing that. So maybe underrated. I love it. I'm totally that chick that's in the front row, just like woo, screaming. I'm like that woohoo girl on your phone at the concerts, and I listen to it the next day, and I'm like, wow, that sounded bad.
That's what my follow-up question was like, do you ever look back at them and be like, oh God, bad.
I don't think I've ever not looked back at it and been like, wow, yeah, you need to stop woo-hooing every 2 seconds.
Yeah. All right, so on the next one, I'm going to guess that you're going to say underrated, but we'll just see.
Okay.
Brunch.
Oh, yeah, underrated for sure. How did you know that, bro?
I just get that vibe that brunch is underrated for you. Like, it's underrated for me too, so don't feel out there.
it's kind of properly rated though here in Arizona because everybody brunches.
Oh yeah.
Everybody does. So I mean, brunch is a thing here.
The only time I brunch is when I'm in Arizona, to be honest with you. That's the only time I ever brunch.
So it's properly rated here, underrated in the rest of the world.
Oh, it's completely underrated in California because I don't brunch. It's like brunch out here is what you think about Sunday at 3. Like, oh, we should have did brunch. But then it's too late. Arizona.
When I lived in LA, I remember going to church and then we'd go straight to brunch every single Sunday. So that's where my brunch days really started, was LA.
Oh yeah. I did brunch as a kid. I don't know why. Me and my homies was like, yo, you want to go brunch? And it was like Bob's Big Boy had this brunch thing. And I was like, yeah, let's go to Bob's Big Boy and get brunch. And like, you can't imagine a bunch of hood dudes just at the, yeah, we're here for brunch. And that was the only time I remember having brunch. And then the next time I had brunch is when I'm in Arizona with Doug or somebody, like, yeah, let's go get brunch. Okay.
Bunch of dudes out in LA just get bottomless mimosas.
Man, that's how we live. Like, yo, let's get some brunch. All right, that sounds dope. But I don't know why we did weird things, but yeah, brunch was big for us. All right, here we go. Cats.
Oh, totally overrated. Not a cat girl. Could you tell my facial expression?
Yeah, I can tell you the way you just went from here, brunch. You're like, yeah, brunch, cats.
They're creepy. They're creepy, man. Their eyes, they scare the crap out of me. I'm a dog girl. I don't have a dog. It's a big responsibility, so I don't have one yet until I have kids. But more of a dog girl.
I'm a cat person, huge. I'm a big cat person.
Oh, man.
I don't understand why, like this big black man. I'll walk around like a godfather with a cat and just be like, yeah.
You put your cat on a leash?
Oh, I've tried that. And the cat is normally walking me because it's behind me and I'm like pulling like, come on. So the cat normally walks me, but lately I've been getting into dogs, especially puppies, because my kids like puppies. And so I'm like, sure. I think I like puppies. But they'll grow up to become dogs, and I got to deal with it. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
so you're the crazy cat man.
I am the crazy cat man, and at one point my house smelled of cats, so that's why I'm like, I don't think I'm a cat anymore. Yeah,
I remember when my neighbors, when I was a kid, they would go out of town and I'd have to go down and clean their cat litter, and I think it scarred me for life. I'm like, oh, I am not ever gonna own a cat. And then they just scared me.
The worst thing about cleaning the cat, and the worst thing about cleaning that litter box is the cat expects you to do it. And so when you're cleaning, they just sit there and look at you like, clean my litter box. So yeah, I'm kind of, now I can see myself moving away from cats and moving to dogs.
Look at that. We just went from big cat guy to now I just talked you out of cats.
Because I just think about all the work that comes with cats. So like, yeah, that's stressful. I hate that.
I think any animal.
Yeah. Summer. How about summer? Overrated, underrated, properly rated?
I think it's properly rated.
Me too.
Everybody lives for summer.
Summer is great.
Minus Arizona people.
Yeah.
But I love going to.
Yeah. I can't do summer in Arizona, even though I've had to a couple of times. But the 2 times I lived in Arizona during the summer I remember my dad visited me one time in June, and he was like, all right, I'm going to the hotel. It's 10 o'clock at night and it's 98 degrees. And I was like, yeah, that's great. He goes, nope, I don't like that.
You're like, man, it cooled off 98 degrees.
I know, but it's nice. And
it's chilly.
That wasn't this thing. Oh man. We have 1 minute left on the show, Tori. Let us know, where can people find you? If people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do it?
So my Instagram, obviously, I mean, right? It's 2020, so we got to leave it with the gram. That, by the way, is properly rated. Instagram is my
Instagram properly rated.
So my Instagram handle is at Miss Tori Kruse, MISSTORIKRUSE. And then my website is highlightsinheels.com. That's highlights with the letter N, heels.com. And yeah, feel free to, DM me or shoot me a message on my email as well. That's on my Instagram and my website. But would love to hear from all of you. And thank you so much, Ro, for having me on today. This has been super, super fun.
I'm so glad you were able to do this. I'm trying to get your stuff together right. I should have had this ready before. Highlightsandheels.com with an S at the end.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for doing this with me, man. I am so excited. I was happy that you got to be on the show, and I'm glad we got to connect. This has really been a friendship that I really enjoy. I enjoy hanging out with you, enjoy talking to you. So it's always great. This clearly won't be the last time we'll be on But First Coffee. I'll definitely have you on again because this is a fun time. So thank you again for coming. Cheers to you.
Cheers. Thank you so much for having me on. This has been so much fun. I hope to see you in Arizona soon.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Hey, if you guys enjoy this, make sure you reach out to her. If you have some questions you want to get to know more about, having her to come out to speak or whatever, or coming on Zoom to speak, because we don't know when we can come out anywhere, just hit her up. Tori Kruse on Instagram, Miss Tori Kruse on Instagram, or in highlightsandheels.com is the website. And I think I spelled it wrong.
No, perfect.
Oh, okay, cool.
Highlights and Heels. You forgot the S on highlights, but you guys will find me.
You'll find
it. Find the gram. Find my website.
She's also on YouTube. Tori Kruse, also to find her page on YouTube. She has a lot of different of her podcasts that she does. We didn't even get a chance to get into the podcast, but
it's breakthrough time.
There you go. So get on there. Thank you again, Tori. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great, beautiful Tuesday, and don't forget. This day wasn't. Wait, say it again. Say it. I messed it up.
I got you. We weren't given this day because we needed it. We were given this day because someone needs you.
On that note, have a great Tuesday. God bless you guys. Take care.